Hey, what's up, you guys? You're watching Team APS. In today's video, we're going to talk about the new end of match procedures.
Hi, I'm Trill.
Yeah, he's here too. Don't know why. So these new procedures have been super controversial. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions on them. You know, some people love it, some people hate it. There's a lot of questions to be answered. Is 40 minutes enough time for a round? You know, is it Konami's fault? Is it the judge's fault? Is it the player's fault? Like, you know, who takes the brunt of this? I didn't want to do any knee-jerk reactions when it was first announced. I think we now have a little bit more intel on how that works.
Right. Once the judge calls time, whatever phase you're on, you finish that phase and that game is over. So if you won game one and if I'm ahead in game two, then it's a tie automatically. There's no going to battle phase. There's no end of turn, do whatever setup. It's just over after that.
Do you think that this rule opens up like exploits?
Yes.
Right? Like, do you feel like this opens up like running specific kind of tech cards to counter time? Do you think this is encourages slow play?
Yes, to all of the above, and that's exactly what it is. And I don't think that's Konami's goal. I don't think that was the purpose of it behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, right now everybody's taking cards for end of match procedures as far as, you know, for gaining life points, burning, quote unquote stalling. There's a lot of cards that have never been relevant or had no relevance in such a long time that are now.
I think now you have to use them because you just want to be able to do the burn.
Yeah, you're at that point where you're like, oh my god, I might not be able to get to my battle phase. What other tricks can I get to? And also slow playing as well. Okay, we're giving 40 minutes. My thing is, if I won game one and I'm ahead in game two, or I know that we're going to draw in game two because time's running out, there's no reason for me to rush. I'm already ahead.
Right.
Why
it
not
makes
just,
no sense. You can just slow play. And
I'm going to take a few seconds. You can slow play right on the cusp of it not being considered slow playing, but just enough to waste enough time. Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, you can kind of, like, just stall out a phase, even. Yeah. Like, you know, it's not, you might not get to a battle phase, you know what I mean? Like, to even do damage to change the result of something. What do you think was Konami's intention with this?
And I want to say what I think. When the ruling first came out, I was one of the people in the bandwagon of this is ass. Like, I mean, that was my adamant opinion, hands down. And in talking to multiple judges in regards to this, their whole thing is, and of course we know that nothing is perfect. We already know that offhand. But their whole goal behind this is to be able to eliminate slow playing. And with them having the end of match procedures, it's a lot easier to identify slow playing and stalling.
That's a good point.
As opposed to, because the thing is, like, you got to think about it. You have, there's 3 games, you know, it's 1 round, 3 games. Mm-hmm. You go to game 3. And I said, this is me talking to multiple judges. Their thing is now they're able to actually go in and I said, it's not perfect, so don't quote me on any of this. Let's say you're playing Paleos. I'm doing a lot of things on my turn. You have a response. And every time I go make a move, you're like, you wait, you taking 15 seconds to decide you want to activate something.
Yeah.
And you don't activate anything. The judges they have the ability now. I'm not saying they didn't before, but now it should be more enforced now, where they can actually go and decide if your response will actually change the outcome of the game, with you trying to take as much time as you are off the clock by just saying, I have a response. Because if I have like 5 months on the field and a dead Brilliant Fusion and you got an MST phase down, you're not changing the game at all. So why are you stalling?
So you can identify like when this is just stalling versus
exactly.
Like,
to your actual you know, strategy.
I think Konami's goal with this partly is to actually get people in and out of the building faster. If you know, I know there's a bunch of people on the internet who just yell and scream, but if you actually are the type who goes to events, you go to regionals, you go to ICS events, you'll know there are times when it's like round 1's supposed to go up at like 10 or 11, and like it doesn't end until like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 a.m. in the morning.
You're like, oh, I'm in round 1. Oh, like you go to those events where, I mean, yeah, sometimes it gets to midnight and stuff, but like those times where like round 1 goes up at like 10 or 10:15, and then like the 40-minute timer ends around like 11 or something. But then there's like
an additional hour and a half.
Like an hour or something of just like all these people taking so long. I think they're trying to shave off just like net time off the day where like these rounds can proceed quickly. Now I heard at YCS New Jersey, it didn't exactly work that way. I heard that there was still a lot of like, you know, standby time between rounds. But I think it's just because this is their first time doing it like on a major scale.
Exactly. It's trial and error is going to be a thing.
Like there's growing pains. It's gonna take some time. I think that that's actually what people are maybe forgetting about this is, it's like you said, like it's not going to be perfect from the start. Like it can't be perfect from the start. A lot of judges are going to have to like adapt to this,
right? And
find like kind of, you know, trial and error, find out what's wrong, where they can make improvements and stuff like that. But I think that when this system works, we're going to actually be able to get out of events at reasonable hours of the night.
Everybody says the days are so long because, and that's why the days are so long. We have 40 minutes, then we have an additional hour of time after this 40 minutes.
Yeah, anywhere from like 30 minutes, 60 minutes, of just overtime.
That's pretty much my biggest gripe, or one of my top 2 biggest gripes of going to these big events is
the time.
Is the time it takes. And people don't watch their ass. And so put that together, it's even worse because now I have to spend even more time in this room full of smelly ass people. But that's another story.
So, question: do you think 40 minutes is enough time for a round?
I think that 40 minutes isn't enough time, but I think that it should be enough time. 40 minutes seems like a lot of time until you actually end the game. Like 40 minutes, 40 minutes is a lot of time.
Sounds like a
lot. I mean, we're just playing cards, 8,000 life points, my monsters do a lot of damage. Seems like a lot. And then you get into it and it's like, and then you realize like things like we have like World Challenge. Things like Goki's whose turns are long. Or things that are hyper responsive like Paleos, and you realize like everything just slows down at that point. Like 40 minutes becomes nothing all of a sudden. You're like, oh my god, it's been 33 minutes. We're only moving the game too. But granted, these decks weren't meant to. I mean, grinding is a thing, but these decks were meant to grind to a halt or grind so slowly. Grinding is the one thing, but you can still grind at a considerable speed.
I think something that people have been bringing up, I think it's a really good point, and it's a good criticism of this new thing, is like, different decks are affected differently by the same rules, and that's kind of what feels maybe unfair to some people because it's like, oh, well, this like overfavors trick stars. It's like the big one. I feel like something that people don't talk about enough is it kind of like overfavors like Gokis and like Spirals.
Decks have long
because
turns.
It's decks where the turn's so long. I'm not saying all Spiral and Goki players slow play. In fact, I think most of them, if they could, they would get through their turn as fast as they can.
It's just the
but the fact of the matter is, you have to pick up the deck, search the card, make sure that's what you want, and then you have to put it down, you have to offer it to your opponent, and shuffle, 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 they cut, and then you have to activate the next search card.
Right.
And like, it's just, there's so many, at least with Trick Stars, there's like, you know, 3 or 4 cards get played and the turn's over. If the Goki deck's like 20 different effects in one turn can resolve. And like, and it's not the Goki's fault. Like, it's not.
It's just what they're.
That's just how the deck works.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Altergeist and Paleo, where it's like there's so many traps, and
but it works against them though.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of hurts them.
In the match works again. If you're a trap like relying deck in the match, procedure actually work. I mean, because
they're really brutal.
Hyper responsible, you're not doing much. Like your deck is meant to actually grind out resources, and if we're on a time thing, you lose that battle. Especially playing against something like Trick Stars, that puts automatic burn and automatic just advantage on the field. I mean,
proactively.
Yeah, you know,
it really changes the win condition of the game.
True.
Like, literally, Upstart Goblin is now bad.
Upstart now.
Solemns are bad.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, you know, certain archetypes, psychics or vampires, stuff that like pays life points are bad. And like the goal becomes skewed. It's you don't pull off your combo. You are just trying to do whatever cheeky way you can to get advantage on the board.
Doesn't matter.
Like, that's kind of something I don't like. What are things you think Konami's going to need to do moving forward to improve? And I've read this, the idea of like a stopwatch. People have brought that up. I don't know how easy that would be to implement. So do they like encourage players to like, oh, you know, bring your own stopwatch, and then like how will players receive that? Like,
I actually personally like the stopwatch idea. I'm not opposed to. I mean, if me and my opponent have a stopwatch, you know, I time him, he time me, or whatever, as long as you know it's equal. One thing I actually thought about was just removing the time clock from the from visibility altogether. We all know those players, and sometimes, and some of you actually probably are that person. You sit there and you sit to where you're facing the clock and your opponent isn't, and you're playing to the clock. You're playing to make sure. I mean, because I've seen this so many times. It was like, okay, I got 10 seconds left. I'm going to do this, do this, do this, this. Your turn. Time. If we just remove that altogether, now it's not fully a guessing game, but now you're at this point where you're just playing it out until whatever happens. Yeah. So you don't know. Okay, I know I have a minute left, but do I have a minute left or do I have 47 seconds left? You see what I'm saying? Like, that matters.
Yeah, but I like your idea where it's kind of a middle ground of there's a timer there,
right?
But it's not visible,
right?
And so it kind of means that you can't go into it trying to manipulate a turn to take as long as possible so that I end my turn time.
Right.
Judges, I think, are going to have to like get more aggressive, I guess.
That was actually my next thing. Like, that was my next thing. Judges, I mean, because. And granted, once again, this is another thing that is not a perfect system, and judges are going to get it wrong. They're going to try to get it right, and they're still going to get it wrong. But with that being said, like judges have to know. Like, if I call you and I tell you somebody's slow playing, like, you have to have a good system to where you can decipher whether this is slow playing or if they're just going through actual combos that require this amount of time, or whatever the case may be. And also, with that being said, it's also not just on the judges; it's also on the players.
There's a lot more pressure on the players.
It's on the players as well. Because my thing is,
you got to call out slow play.
You got to. And a lot of people don't be afraid. I mean, first off, there's no Yu-Gi-Oh thugs. I'm just gonna put that out there. So don't be afraid that your opponent's gonna want to fight you. Going to be angry with you because you're all in there to compete and you're there to win. So if your opponent's doing something that's unfair to try to win and obviously it's unfair, you should be able to say something about that. 1,300 people,
you gotta keep the things
13
moving.
judges. This judge can't watch everything for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, you gotta be vocal. I mean, you gotta be vocal with your opponent. You gotta be vocal with the judging staff as well. So I mean, everybody has their own part that they have to do for this to work.
It's not going to be perfect.
I think it's never going to be perfect.
In fact, that's actually a good segue to kind of the last thing. What are the takeaways? Like, what should anyone like watching this take away from it? Because for me, I think the thing that people should take away is there's gonna be growing pains. They're just implementing this.
And there'll always
there's
be
going to be problems. There's always going to be some exploits. I think that the system is for the greater good. I think events will end faster. I think that it will help slow play.
Yes, indeed.
It's going to take some time for judges to get used to it. It's going to take some time for players to get used to it.
But we also have to be open to it as well. That's another one of our biggest things in the community is that a lot of us, we like things, but we're also not open to change when it actually happens.
We're super knee-jerk.
Exactly.
It's super like people are very like, this ruins Yu-Gi-Oh! Like it's terrible.
Like,
you know, like
I mean, I was there
this
personally.
is the end.
I really was. Like when I first heard that, that's the first thing came to my mind. I was like, oh my god, this is shit. That's the first thing I said.
When I first read it, I was just like, this is harsh. Like it's so harsh. But I get it. Like
I totally understand.
The more the time passes, the more I'm like, you know, this, I think ultimately, once this gets kind of polished and nailed down a bit, this will make events go faster.
They're on the right track.
And I think it will help with the slow play.
And we're not making this video wanting you guys to agree with us and to like the new intermatch procedures. We're just giving you this other perspective of it.
It's just perspective.
Like I said, I was that person that, I'm pretty sure for at least the first week straight, I cursed out the intermatch procedures. I mean, I just hated everything about it. And actually, like I said, I talked to multiple judges and even other players as well, and they made me understand that was the reason why. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but there is a plan that is implemented, and like I said, it's up to all of us to actually make sure it's successful.
In fact, we made a video about that. If you want to check it out, we did, what is it, top 10 cards to use in time?
Yeah, it's top 10 cards to
abuse in time.
Abuse the intermatch procedures.
Yeah, use that at your nationals. Speaking of nationals, we're going to be at the North American Nationals the next few weeks. I believe it's June 29th, July 1st.
Yeah, that weekend. We'll be there the June 29th weekend.
So if you're going to be there, US Nationals, come up, meet us, say hi. It'll be fun. And
bring snacks.
Yeah, for yourself and for us.
Somebody brought us I know somebody brought me shot glasses.
Yeah, they did
last year. Yeah. So this time I need somebody to bring me vodka. I got the shot glasses. I just need the vodka. All right, just saying.
So that's the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it gave you some different perspective. This is definitely a big conversation. Yeah. I get it. The comments are going to be all over the place. It's okay to disagree and not, you know.
It's all about your perspective.
Let us know what you think. We might be down there, be responding a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know about all the other new videos. Watch the other video on cards to use in time.
Yes.
And we will see you guys at the next event, it seems.
Well, our next event.
Our next event. All right. Later, guys.